the next morning. Sorry, I need some water. I woke up the next morning to a text from a high government official saying, hey, if you need some extra security in your neighborhood or some extra police cars on patrol, let me know. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Extra security? I don't have any. Like, you know, I had a comedy special that we were taping. We were taping it last week. And about a month before I quit taking some antidepressants I was taking. You know, I just kind of self-weaned myself off. And the reason why was because I wanted, like during the comedy show, I wanted to have a little bit more emotion during it. I wanted to have this kind of, like, I just wanted to have some more feelings. You know, if you ever taken antidepressants or if you haven't, it kind of takes away your feelings, kind of. You know, so you just kind of stay in this space where you're okay. And it's nice. It's a safe space, but you don't, you're like the astronaut that kind of stays on the ship sometimes. And you get to do the thumbs up and shit, but other dudes are like, you know, other people are out there. Anyway, so I quit taking my medication because I wanted to have a little bit more feelings during the show. I wanted to be able to talk about stuff a little bit more that meant something to me and put it into the comedy show. So that was all going fine, right? I was doing fine with that. We're headed into the comedy show, and then the Department of Homeland Security put a video up online talking about they started making like trap beat edits and like banger edits to evicting people from the country, right? Or eliminating illegals, maybe some criminals, some people just undocumented, all, you know, just across the spectrum, right? So they put a video of mine that I'd made for somebody in a parking lot, probably like maybe a year and a half ago, just jokingly. I think it was a year and a half ago. They put it in at the front of this Department of Homeland Security, like trap beat. I think they had like, I'm not sure if they had like Young Boy lyrics or whatever they had, but it was ridiculous. And the video was a girl had walked up to me in a parking lot and she had said, hey, my friend just got deported. What do you have to say? Do you have a message? I can't remember what it was. And I was just like, bye, you know? And I didn't know if it was real or not. I had no idea. I was just joking around. It's a stranger came up to me in a parking lot. I think it was after a show and there were some people gathered around and we were just kind of like BSing and taking pictures and just kind of associating, right? So anyway, long story short, that happens. So this video goes mega viral, 25 million, 30 million views. It's everywhere. And the front of the next morning, sorry, I need some water. I woke up the next morning to a text from a high government official saying, hey, if you need some extra security in your neighborhood or some extra police cars on patrol, let me know. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Extra security? I don't have any, like, you know, I don't even know the code to my Ring camera. Like, I don't even know how to log in. So it's like, and like, what, you're just going to put police cars in my neighborhood? What are my neighbors going to think? Now they're fearful. Like, it's just like, I don't know, man, that like really kind of shook me. It really kind of shook me. But you keep marching on, you know, and you start getting secure out of like last minute choices to be made. It seemed to go messier than the past specials that I'd taped. Right. It seemed to be a lot more confusion, and it all could have been just kind of my perception. Right. Because what started to happen was on this day, I was starting to feel a little bit like, I don't know if manic is a word. I don't know what manic means. I've said manic, but I don't manic meaning. Let me see. What does it mean when someone is manic? Oh, it says trying to meet mans. That's the first one. Like, this is fucking, see, this is how bad shit's gotten. You're trying to figure out if you have some sort of an anxiety disorder. And next thing you know, you're getting damn emails from a local men's bar or whatever. It is defined as an extremely unstable, euphoric, or irritable mood along with an excessive activity or energy level. Okay. Excessively rapid thought and speech. I probably could have used a little more of that. So I think I started to feel kind of mildly manic. I think it was just being off the medication. I think, and it wasn't insane. It was just little things. Like the second I got on stage, the first show, I couldn't feel any moisture in my mouth. And I started to feel like You ever remember that feeling if you were in high school and you got high and then you were standing there talking to your friends and you were just too high and you were just literally standing there just trying to pretending to be yourself a little bit? So I had a little bit of that. So I started out fire. First 22 minutes were cooking. And then I couldn't remember stuff. And we didn't put a teleprompter. We've done it for other specials. We didn't do it. And that was a bad choice. I don't know if I probably made the choice for sure. I don't remember. But so I had to ask for help. I was like having to ask off stage because I wanted to get everything in sequence. And I think I got stuck on this like sequence thing. And it was just hard, man. It just, I didn't feel like myself. I felt like I was trying to kind of pretend to be myself. And it wasn't insane or extreme. That was it. And we got to the end of the show and we were standing around afterwards with the producers and the director, my friend Kevin, and just like, did we get it? Did we get it? Excuse me. Did we get it good enough? Because I want this special to be, you do the material for so long. And my buddy Neil Brennan said this the other day before it. He said, I got hair in my eyes today. He said, dude, this is the last time you'll ever spend with this material. It's really the last time you'll probably ever do it. And this material's been a friend to me over the years. It's been, it's taken me around the world. It's gotten me to see a lot of people that love me and that I love. So that was just a neat sentiment of a way to like embrace the material and stuff. But I was just at the end of the night, I was like, I don't know if we got it. And they're like, yeah, well, let's edit together something and see. And I was like, okay, but I couldn't feel the magic, I just was off. And pictures of people that were sitting there. And that's when there was a clip of me, which I think this is what really this is what made things ridiculous. Where in passing, I just was like, or I don't know if it was in passing. I haven't seen the clip, honestly, and I haven't been online. I woke up the next day to like a bunch of things like, bro, what's up? Or things like that. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, did I steal somebody's horse? Did I hit somebody with a vehicle? I have no idea. It was just kind of alarming. And then a buddy of mine sent me a clip and I could just see the outside. It was like, you could see me on stage. And then people were asking me about suicide. And I was like, oh God, and I don't even remember exactly what I said, but I can certainly see me saying something like, oh, just try not to take my own life, which I understand it's not a joke to some people, right? It's not a joke to me. But it is something that I'll say stuff sometimes. I say stuff, right? You know that. If you've listened to this show before or seen anything, I say stuff. I would never take my own life. I would never take my own life. Okay? You hear that, Israel? I would never take my own life. I'm grateful to God for his grace in my life. I love my siblings. I have so many friends and people that love me and people that I want to see their children grow up. I'm hopeful that I get to have a wife and meet my own children one day. Like there's a ton of things in my life that keep me alive and hopeful, right? I want to be able to have an impact in the world. Those are just a few of them probably, so many just moments we've shared on this show that I'm like, oh, I live for those things, I want to see Vandy win a championship. So I'm going to have to be alive for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, what I'm saying is, bitch, I'm out there. I'm in the ring, bro. And I've failed so many times. You could write what you want, big dog. Write what you want. It wasn't perfect, man. I'll agree to that. And if I've gotten so used to times I have failed, it's okay. I eat failure for breakfast, but you fill me up with failure flakes over the years, kids. And it's okay, man. That's part of the job. The first 10 years of doing comedy is failure. So much of my life, the best things that have ever happened on my life have been on the other side of failure. And yeah, it would be great if one day we could all live in a space where we lived in a neighborhood where everybody, when they went out in the world, they was potentially going to fail, boy. We riding right on the edge, baby. You know, and that we admired that about each other. So anyway, I'm not looking to like downplay it or make it, you know, we might reshoot it again. We'll see what happens. And that's it, you know, because if you're not on that risk of failing, I don't know what I'm going to be. If I'm not on that risk of failing, I don't know what I'm going to be. It's like a bulb, you know, a plant bulb. If you saw like a plant bulb is kind of brave, right? Like a floral bulb, right? Because if he just stays a bulb, he's just that little green little monster, right? That little nugget. But when he blasts open, he don't know what he's gonna get out that bitch, bro. He might be a rose, he might be a daffodil, brother. He might be